Hello, families. It's Miss Gerber. I am recording your slideshow for the Learning Kids Week 1, Day 4 on this lovely Tuesday. I have to admit that this is the second time that I've recorded this. Last time it failed for a reason that it didn't want to tell me. So here's hoping that this one goes through. I hope you all had a good time conferencing with your teachers yesterday, if you had a chance to do that. If you are scheduled for today, it looks like I'll be conferencing with Hagen, Elena, and Barron. Mrs. Lopez will be conferencing with Lila Rose, Olivia, and Mackenzie. Ms. Sullivan will be conferencing with Audrey. If you have not yet signed up for a conference, please reach out to your teacher, check out their sign up genius, or you can respond directly to them. If the times offered don't work for you, we understand that might be the case. Please talk to your individual teacher so you can work something out. I'm sorry, take two. It's not as good as take one. So here is the morning message. Again, students from my classroom are familiar with this format and may be able to read this independently. Students from other classrooms may be getting some practice reading it. So just remember to have your student use their pointer finger under each word and to make sure that their voice matches the word, matches the sounds. We've added some new information. We've been hearing feedback from parents that it is sometimes hard to be motivated to do the learning at home, and sometimes students are becoming frustrated, kind of hitting their limit. I totally understand. I feel the same way. We spend a lot of time in kindergarten learning how to learn and practicing that skill. And one thing that we talk about a lot is how your brain is made up of neurons and how the neurons connect to each other. These connections are what makes your brain bigger, stronger, and you can tell when something's connected because you have a new skill or ability or you understand something new. However, it's important to practice to move these neurons closer together, and every time you practice something, the neurons do not necessarily connect. They're just moving closer and closer. And eventually they will connect, but you might not even be able to see your progress until the neurons connect. But just know that progress is happening and the neurons are moving. In our classrooms, we all have the same 6 positive choices, basically our classroom rules. And these positive choices help your brain to be calm and focused. When your brain is calm and focused, it's easier for your neurons to connect. When your brain is shaken up and not focused, your neurons don't move as much or at all even. So these are our 6 classroom rules. Be safe, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be responsible, be persistent, listen and think, and follow directions. We'll be putting out another little video with information on kind of the protocols associated with these rules, but just wanted to let you know this is some of the vocabulary that we use with our students, and it can help to set a daily goal for yourself from one of these choices, something that you really want to focus on. Right now, I've been choosing be kind, especially be kind to myself, because that's hard in times where things are stressful. So maybe you want to take a second to pick a daily goal, and if your student remembers the hand gestures that go with these positive choices, maybe they can show you that right now. Here are some shout outs of what students have been up to. We have Archer from Mrs. Lopez's class and Lainey from my class had the same idea for the shadow tracing activity from Friday. They wanted to do dinosaurs, as you can see. So if you didn't get a chance to get to that activity, you can go back in the packet and try it now. We also have Easton from Miss Sullivan's class, and he's spending time with the family pet, looks like. And just remember, these photos are a good example. Like, you're a learning partner, and do what works for your family to keep learning engaging and fun and manageable for you. Chores and games and things like that are also important learning experiences, especially at the kindergarten level. This is the suggested agenda for today. Again, we recommend chunking your activities. So here it says 45 minutes of reading. We say try doing 15-minute chunks. Do one thing for 15 minutes that is a little more involved and heavy in instruction, and then give your student at least one, if not two, smaller 10 to 15-minute chunks of independent activities. And I'll offer some suggestions for independent activities on the following slides. You can try starting with an activity that you didn't have a chance to get to the other day, and you can switch around the order. Maybe you didn't spend much time on math the other day, and you want to spend more time on it today. Today's math game is really fun, so you might want to. Here are some supplies that you will need in addition to the learning kit. Again, the learning kit is the packet. If you are running out of supplies, please reach out to your classroom teacher or call the school office, or if you have Janet Likens from FANS, direct information. If you're running low on any of these supplementary supplies, scissors, you need sharpened pencils, you need paper, things like that, please let us know. We can help you access those resources. And also importantly, if you do not have Wi-Fi internet and you're using your phone's data plan right now, please let us know, because that's something the district is working to help each family with. Our letter of the week is U, and our sight words are for and have. So again, you'll see that some of these activities are similar or the same to what you've been doing on the previous days, and that's why we suggest maybe taking one of those activities and making it independent and then trying a new one together. Some other activities that you could add in would be set a timer for your student while they read independently. You can write a list of words with you in them that they can think of and do some rhyming, or you can play memory using your sight words cards. Something else that I've been hearing from parents is that the books, the little readers that have been included, are above their students' reading level. Please, it is still good practice if you read the book to them and they then turn around and read it right back to you. We call that echo reading. Don't hesitate to read together at the same time. Let your voices go together. That is still good practice for them. They're learning fluency. They're learning to identify words. So please keep that up. This video here is about the short letter U sound, and if you're a student, if you're feeling like your student has a good grasp of the letter U and the sound, then you don't have to spend time on this video if you don't want to. I would say focus more time on blending and segmenting words, like the last video that we give here. The links for these sight word videos for and have are below in the comments. They're pretty fun songs, and we learn our sight words mostly by songs, so I would recommend these. This is another one that you could skip if you feel like your student doesn't need it, and this is a video you could focus on instead with consonant, vowel, consonant words. That brings us to math. We are still talking about shapes and their attributes: curved sides, straight sides, 3 corners, 4 corners, as well as their size and color. The game of Name My Shape is a really fun one, and to make it more independent, once you've played one round or two with your student, they've also played it in their classroom, you could have them play it with a sibling, or you could even call up a family member or friend on video conferencing and have them play this game with your student too. You could also, many students really liked that tracing activity, the shadow tracing. Have students find various two-dimensional shaped items around the house and then trace those, trace their shadow. That could be really fun. You could also have students use a plastic knife to cut up Play-Doh into these 2D shapes, or use scissors to cut up paper. Here are some review songs for the names of the shapes, and links are below in the comments. Again, in kindergarten, our goal is to introduce students to all these things. It is not to master things. If students are forgetting the name of a trapezoid, or can't pronounce the word hexagon, or are mixing up an oval and a circle, definitely keep practicing, but don't worry. That is normal and age appropriate for kindergarten. That brings us to our writing segment. We are doing how-to writing. So in my class, we call how-to writing bossy books, because you have to be teaching someone exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it wrong. Something fun that we do in our classroom is, if your student did write a how-to about something in your house, you can try acting it out just to make sure that they didn't forget any steps. We are practicing on today using the transition words of first, next, then, and last. So your students should be familiar with these words because they've worked with them before, but basically just making sure that they're using first with the first step, and then they use the word next, then, and last. And I usually write those words for my students to copy. I don't make them spell it on their own, and then they write the rest of the sentence. Really, the most important thing is that your student is drawing a picture to tell how to do something, and writing sentences that match. And they can write those sentences using a mix of sounding words out by stretching them and by using sight words. That's the big focus. Do not worry if your student is not producing like one piece of writing per day. Some students write at that pace, but some students take multiple weeks to produce one piece of writing, and they're both totally fine. I find this next video to be really helpful, so I recommend going down to the comments and clicking on this link. Just let your student take time to plan and think, and give them uninterrupted writing time. We call it the joy of writing, where they just sit down and the expectation is that they're silently writing, and students can do that for up to 10 minutes in the classroom. So just know that they're capable of doing that, and that you don't have to be like hovering over them, helping them to spell everything. Let them see what they come up with. Remind them to use all their tools. Remind them to put 2-finger spaces in between words. Something to help you guys and them is, please take plenty of brain breaks before and after these chunks of time. Brain breaks are, I usually know that I need to call a brain break when I hear myself talking louder and louder over like the general commotion in the classroom. We just stop and we pause and we just get away from what we're doing so that we can refocus and get back into it. I can't recommend brain breaks enough. Please be mindful about whether you're trying to like raise your child's energy up or bring it down. So if they're tired and not really motivated to do stuff, a more active brain break is a good choice. If you're trying to get them more regulated and focused on what they're doing, give them a mindful moment or a be still kind of mindful moment. Just kind of, you can use them to help your student get different levels of energy and just be thinking about that. They're really helpful. This is a fun like PE activity bingo. I've heard from parents that this has actually been one of the most helpful and popular things. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. This is something that could eventually be a slightly independent activity as well, with your student and maybe their siblings or something. Another activity that people have really been enjoying is the extra science and art practice. Today it's all about sinking and floating. So you can have your student test a bunch of materials around the house, send us pictures of what you find out. We're always curious to hear about your science experiments. You can feel free to let them know about words like density and mass and things like that, but please, again, they do not need to master that. You're just simply helping them to construct some understanding about what's happening with them, but do not worry about them being able to explain back to me about mass and density or anything like that. Just have fun exploring the world around you. And here's a fun video about sinking versus floating. This, I actually really recommend doing the sensory water bottles. The link is below in the comments. We actually use a tool like the water bottle that's on the left with the glitter in it to model our brain and how it can get shaken up by various things. And then we use mindful moments and breathing exercises, which we will hopefully be modeling in a YouTube video that's coming to calm the brain down, and you can see the glitter settle. So that could be a fun project for you and your student, and they've seen something like that in our classroom too. Here is an awesome play idea. You can make a boat based on the things that you found that do float. You can put them all together to make a cool boat. Send us a picture. We would love to put it in the slideshow and share that with everyone. There are some ideas on this in this video and directions if you're interested in that, but also feel free to go crazy and produce whatever you want. We love to see your creative stuff that you've been doing. Lastly, please don't forget to keep celebrating your achievements and know that you can reach out to us for support anytime with text or email, or talk to us during your conference times. I know many of you are still working full-time, either from home or out in the community, and it's just a lot on your plate. So we're excited to be working with you. We're excited that we've begun conferencing, and but just know that we're always available and we're here to be learning partners with you. We will also, all three of us will be hosting a web video read aloud and parent meeting tonight, April 7th at 6 p.m. So reach out to your teacher if you haven't heard the details, but we'll be sending out the links with all that information. And lastly, enjoy this wonderful Sesame Street song, and just remember that you might not be able to see if your neurons have connected, but they are moving, and slowly but surely we are all getting used to this new type of learning and type of teamwork that we're doing. Have a happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Miss Gerber saying, hopefully see my class this evening on our read aloud and parent meeting. Bye-bye.